Testing. Boop. All right. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Ash Montoya Show. Ash Montoya here with another episode. Got a lot to talk about tonight. It's been a while since I talked about current events. So let's where shall I begin? We can get into the Lily Phillips thing. Lily Phillips, if you don't know who this is, I didn't know who she was. I'm not aware of these OnlyFans girls. I only know classic porn stars such as Sasha Grey, Faye Reagan, the classics. I don't know who Lily Phillips is or this Sophie Rand is. I have no idea. But Lily Phillips slept with 1,000 men apparently in one day. I don't know how that's humanly possible, but freaking Candace Owens talked to her. I have not seen this. Let's watch it.
With Lily Phillips, that's the young lady from the United Kingdom who is resolved to sleep with 1,000 men in less than 24 hours to break a record. So we're going to discuss that, and I'm going to show you portions of our conversation now that it has premiered. Plus, you're not going to be surprised because I think it's just a game between me and Tucker Carlson. I'm in trouble, then he's in trouble.
I think it's very sexy. And I did almost sign up, but I didn't want to fly to the UK to fuck this cum-filled pussy for 1 minute and 35 seconds. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but yeah. Let's watch this.
Well, now it's Tucker Carlson's turn again, and he's in hot water, this time, of course, for hosting a guest on his podcast. That guest's name is Jeffrey Sachs, and he's telling the public the truth.
I saw people saying stuff like, oh, imagine being the last guy. Here's the thing. I didn't even have interest in fucking her. I had more interest in eating her out.
Truth about Bibi Netanyahu's ambitions in the Middle East, and it's not the pre-approved Likud party narrative. But the guy, he can say it. Jeffrey Sachs can say it because he's Jewish, so he's not going to win Anti-Semite of the Year. And I am very sad to report that there has been another school shooting, this time in Madison, Wisconsin. And again, it has taken place at a Christian school. And again,
topics, that girl, that Dasha Nekrasova looking school shooter, her manifesto is so funny, dude. She was like 10 years old and talking about, man, my life has sucked for the longest time. Then talking about school shooters and stuff that from like 20 years ago, how cool they are and stuff. And I mean, it's just ridiculous, dude. You're 10 years old. Like, get over yourself. You're that emo at that young of an age, really? Get out of here.
Oddly, the shooter is a female, just 15 years old. She seems to be a radicalized feminist. What does this mean? We absolutely should discuss this. Welcome back to Candace.
I gotta record this for backup if YouTube pulls it down. All right. So yeah, let's get into this Lily Phillips, Candace Owens interview. Oh wow. Such an empowering month.
All right, where to begin? Let's just begin with the Guinness Book of World Record in general. I don't know if you know this, there are over 65,000 world records that are captured in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 2023, 4,975 records were approved. And I have to tell you guys, when I was young, and I'm sure you remember this too, I was quite mesmerized by it all. Like there's the concept when you say, oh, this person holds the Guinness Book of World Records. I was like, wow, could you just imagine just being the best at something worldwide? Like no one else is better than you at this thing. So I'm going to give you a couple of facts about how it works to give you a little refresher, or maybe you've never even thought about it. Because I think many people wonder, well, what do you earn? What do you actually win? How much money do you get if you do break or hold a record worldwide? And the answer to that question is exactly $0. Despite there being over 153 million Guinness Book World Record books that are sold worldwide, the actual record holders don't get a single thing other than the right to say, I am a record holder. I am the best in the world. What is the criteria, you might be wondering? Like, what is it? Sports? What is singing? What is it? Honestly, anything that you can think of. If you can think it up and be the best at it, not even the best, really just the only, then you can be awarded, or at least have the title and tell people that you're that person. Some random records. There's a guy named Tyler Phillips. He pogo sticked over 5 cars. Now, is he the best at pogo sticking? Phillips. I told you a bit about her. She is indeed from England.
She looks like a nice English lady. Somebody that you want to bring home to your parents. She looks like she makes a nice English breakfast. She's very cute. Let's learn more about her.
I want to remind you that she's just 23 years old, and she is an, you guessed it, Instagram model. Instagram model, this kind of new age of
I could be your daddy.
Modeling. And
Instagram models is not a new age of modeling. How old is Instagram? Like 13 years old? Fucking millennials, dude. They don't know shit.
She is desiring to break one of these obscure world records, and she's willing to defile herself and willing to go against basic principles of morality, because I'm certain that prior to her engaging in this, no one had really thought up how many men can one sleep with in one day. That's what she's thinking about. She wants to know how many men she can have sex with in one day, and she's going for 1,000. Now you might be going, why 1,000? Surely no one's gotten close to that. Actually, someone has. The existing record was set in Warsaw, Poland, back in 2004. I was kind of hoping it would be a random...
The Germans and the Poles are the biggest degenerates on planet Earth. They, I heard they do shit like a bunch of men ejaculate on a wood floor, and somebody slides on it. Like a slip and slide. I heard that this is a thing. I don't know what it's called, but I heard that this exists.
Polish girl that did this, but it wasn't, of course. It's an American girl. Of course, it's an American girl. Her name is Lisa Sparks. She is a porn star from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and she managed to sleep with 919 men in a single day. She set the record at the 3rd annual World Gangbang Championship in Warsaw. You're like me, you're going, I didn't know that there was a World Gangbang Championship in Warsaw, Poland, but there is. And she went out and did that, and she competed against 2 other women who wanted to achieve this level of notoriety. And she won by 21 men, with each person that she was involved with sexually being allowed 45 seconds with her. Now, I gotta tell you this, the update on this is that on her website, she confessed, she said this, quote, to be completely transparent with you all, this event is the one thing I regret doing in the 21 plus years in the porn industry to this day. This was also the only job I agreed to perform strictly for the money. They say hindsight is 20/20, but I'd like to think that maybe as women, we could have the foresight to recognize that sleeping with 919 men in one day is going to be something that you deeply regret. And at least that was kind of what I wanted to speak to Lily Phillips about. I'm not really interested, I told you guys this yesterday, in this whole outrage culture and screaming and calling each other names. I do think the right is starting to behave like the left, and there's no learning any of it when we're just being outraged and screaming. Obviously what Lily Phillips is doing is wrong. Me screaming about how wrong that is isn't really going to change her desires any. in
Let's
my
get through
view,
this.
is the real Lily. Raw emotions, which would follow any person who is a human being who has just been used and defiled in this way by 100 men. Take a listen.
It's not for the weak girls, if I'm honest.
Not for the
it was
weak
hard.
girls. She talks like Mia Goth. Frawley.
I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like... It's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it, like...
It's not like just having sex with someone.
Yeah. Just one in, one out, like it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
Sorry. Okay. Just take
Yeah, 1 minute.
So that right there is the real Lily Phillips. And I want to be clear, this documentary maker, the guy next to her, I think his name is Josh Peters, absolute monster to be documenting that. I mean, you just have to be guided by basic principles of morality. And to see her breaking down
I
like that.
thought it was extremely funny.
To be playing the part as if he's her friend and really wanting to understand, oh, she's a bit overwhelmed right now. Oh, is that shocking for you to hear too, Josh Peters, that this 23-year-old young woman who's making a massive mistake and you're, instead of trying to guide her away from it, wanting to capture it. But that's her. That raw emotion is the real Lily Phillips. And it made me realize that first and foremost, you are dealing with someone who's incredibly delicate, who is now having to put on a front in front of the world because she wants to make a lot of money. She wants to make a lot of money and she wants to do this quickly. She wants to do this in one day. And in order to have a bunch of men sign up to watch that, they don't want to see her crying. So this is not good. She's got to rebrand it and pretend that she's really into it, that the sex is good.
I did this as a hobby before I did it for work. So I was sleeping around and doing these stuff like that before I actually did OnlyFans. I was a lot more promiscuous
I
on
love
camera.
this. This is my favorite thing that women do is when they wear fake glasses. This is what all women that don't wear glasses do. That don't have glasses prescribed to them. They wear these like fake looking glasses they bought off Temu. Right? This is what all women do. It's fake. She does not wear glasses. All right? I don't wear glasses, but you know, I have cool glasses. I don't have these fake prescribed glasses. I don't walk around wearing fake prescribed glasses. Okay?
Before I was on camera. And so, no, I do this job because I love it so much. And to me, obviously money in every job is a big thing, but it's not about the money for me. It's about...
You said you did this to give back to your OnlyFans that afforded your lifestyle. You said that, I think.
No, as in they have really helped me. You know,
What you said, you thought me and my assistant
I never
sat
said
in a
anything
room.
about money.
You
Just
said
about
me
like
and my
freedom.
assistant sat in a room and decided that we should do this as a way to give back to the fans that have supported this, like, you know, this lifestyle that I have.
Me and my assistant was talking, and I was like, I just looked up the world record because I was like, how cool would this be to do? Because obviously it's something that's kind of obviously never been done before. It'd be really unique content. It would also be giving, you know, back to my supporters and stuff like that who have subscribed and, you know, made my life how it is today. I didn't say yeah, lifestyle. So as in like this freedom that I have. I love the life that OnlyFans has given me, definitely. And that's not necessarily money.
What freedom has it given to you if it's not money, out of curiosity?
So to be able to work for myself, to be able to do something I love, you know.
Working for yourself, meaning making, right?
Sorry?
Working for yourself as in being able to earn an income by yourself. And
No, so working for myself to be able to wake up and grab a coffee in the morning and not have to be in a desk at a 9 to 5, to be able to myself and, you know,
Easy money.
make a living out of it, be able to...
She's a self-made woman. You know, she's self-made. She's hardworking. Has her own business. I don't think there's anything more Republican than this. Right?
So to be able to support myself, do something that
Yeah,
I
that's
love,
money. Just
and be able
so you know, that's all. That's money you're talking about. Like to be able to support yourself.
But I'm not just talking about like money. I'm talking about the freedom this lifestyle has given me.
Money permits freedom. Money permits freedom.
Yeah, we're just trying to connect the dots there.
So money means you.
Yeah, okay, this is fucking stupid. She's just saying that she likes making money on her own terms, doesn't have to do a 9 to 5, just like what Candace Owens is doing. It's not sex, but Candace Owens is doing the same thing. It's content creation, and Candace Owens is keep bringing up to her like, oh, all you're bringing up is money. All you bring up is money. Who gives a fuck? Like, why do you do what you do, Candace? Why does any of these content creators do what they do? Because they don't want to work to 9 to 5. They like making content and they like making money. That's it. I don't know what's this gotcha she's trying to do. It's fucking stupid. What, do you make videos to save the world, Candace? I mean, these political commentators are some of the biggest dorks out there. They really think that they're saving the world by making these stupid fucking BuzzFeed. They're no different than BuzzFeed articles from 2013. They're garbage. So does what the fuck's that chick's name? The Ben Shapiro female. Does female Ben Shapiro think that she's saving the world by making these 10-minute clickbait news article videos while wearing these gamer set headphones? Does she really think she's saving the world and changing things? Give me a fucking break.
You have the freedom to do whatever you can in your life, right? That's what money is, equals essentially time in this
What's
case.
your fucking gay ass opinion? You guys don't even have any controversial takes. There's nothing controversial about anti-immigration or I like Trump. I actually voted for Trump. Isn't that crazy? There's nothing controversial about it. You're not talking about Jews. You're not You're not even talking about like. A lot of people don't even talk about black crime statistics. Nothing racist. Nothing. Nothing. You guys aren't changing the world. You guys aren't pushing hot buttons. Yeah.
That's right, because you're saying the freedom to do what you want to do. So
but
the question
this
is,
the thing. I could do OnlyFans and make 20 grand a month and still have the same lifestyle as I do now, than have to go to this extreme and do the 1,000. Like I could. So it's not really like the money thing for me.
Yeah, because now it's about the fame.
I think what the political commentators do is more despicable.
So there it is. It's obvious that this is something that is going to bring her great pain, but she's already pivoted and now she's pretending like she just had a weak moment after 100 men. And this is really what she's always wanted because, as you heard her say, she used to do this for free. She used to give up the goods for free. And we're supposed to imagine that she was sleeping with 1,000 men per day, as if that's clearly, you could be as promiscuous as you want, but no one has ever done that. And so it has to be about something else. Again, she's back to trying to sell the fantasy to men like she's actually into this, and she's not. And that's why it's important to speak to these people, because I think young women look at this as an example, and she's talking about how this is about freedom. Did you hear her? Yeah, sure, she's got to sleep with 1,000 strange men, but she can get a coffee in the morning. And she doesn't have to think about it. She's not stuck at a cubicle from a 9 to 5. So there are some women who are stuck at a cubicle from 9 to 5 and they then get a coffee. She has so much more freedom because she's just going to sleep with 1,000 men, 1,000 strangers in one day. And she doesn't really see that as a form of bondage, or at least the fake Lily, who I was interviewing, the fake Lily doesn't see that. The Lily that was crying obviously very much understood what she was giving up, and it lets you know that buried down deep, she does have a soul. But the more compelling piece of this for me really was learning that her mother is involved in her career. Her mother manages the finances. And when Lily spoke to journalists about this,
it's a family business. It's really good when the family's involved in your business. Family businesses are by far the best businesses to be a part of. They succeed the most. Look at Indian families with their convenience store chains. It's really cool that her mom have their own business. Very good conservative values.
She described her relationship with her mother and her father as being wholesome, that these were good parents.
Candace Owen is just jealous because she's mid as fuck. And yeah. Didn't get that much dick in her life, so that's why she's mad.
As they were supporting her. I know it's shocking. Take a listen to what she had to say. One of the questions that I certainly had when I was reading into your story was, I think that you kind of tried to portray it like you had this like normal upbringing. And I obviously don't buy that because I have children and I have a daughter, and your mother being involved in this signals to me that you had anything but a normal upbringing, because there's no mother that would spiritually want to see her child violated like that, because that's what it is, whether you perceive it or not. Your mother is watching you or helping you or dealing with the finances of you being violated 100 times in one day. And so I
love these videos too. This is like what they did on TV back in the day when like my daughter's a porn star, and then they would go on like Geraldo Rivera and stuff. Or even like 20 years ago if they went on like Dr. Phil or something like that. This is all like this whole Candace Owens thing. It's like anti-porn and stuff, but it's really just advertising her OnlyFans. This is what it is, and that's why she goes on there. That's why these people go on these shows, these conservative shows, because it still advertises their OnlyFans. And most of the people that watch that stuff, they're not libs. They're not even like creepy. It's fucking, usually a lot of people are into this stuff. The 1,000 guy gangbang videos and shit. It's conservative guys who pretend to be anti-porn and are really into like femboys and shit. That's the type of guys that watch this stuff.
Disturbed by that more than anything else is like I've heard of OnlyFans girls. I've sat down with them, respectfully on the Whatever podcast, and a lot of them have stories. That's and they understand shitty. That
Whatever podcast is like the worst podcast of all time. If you want to watch like a guilty pleasure, like all girls panel podcast, you watch like Fresh and Fit. At least that, say what you want about Fresh and Fit, at least it's entertaining. It's very energetic. Also, like Fresh and Fit too, like they actually have variety of content. Like it's not just like the making fun of OnlyFans girls. Like they'll like even interview like people like old veterans and shit. Like there's actually variety in the content. And some of it, I've made fun of Fresh and Fit on my channel before and stuff, but like not all of it is like trash content, Like, yeah, it's stupid, but it's funny to laugh at, but, at least it's energetic, it's entertaining, there's variety. Whatever podcast is, like, the most boring, monotone-ish podcast I've ever seen.
My mom, my dad, my upbringing didn't do this. It led me to this choice in life, but you don't seem to have recognized your mother's abuse in this, which is quite alarming to me. So I'm just curious about your relationship with her.
I mean, my parents definitely don't describe having as, what did you say? Sorry, abusive or
violating? I don't think it's abusive. I think your daughter being violated 100 times by strangers is abusive.
Why are they there?
So my parents don't describe as being violated. They don't really see it in that way. They know I've always been very liberal, and to be honest, my parents, they don't necessarily, they're not coaching me into it. They're not telling me, please keep having these people at all. They're not, they're not really exactly, I wouldn't really say like supportive, but at the end of the day, they love me. And what is it going to do if they disown me, stop talking to me? That would only cause more heartache. So they see it from a standpoint of, my mum does like my finances because she wants to help me. They just want to do what they can to help. It's not so much like
That's
if
very
they
beautiful.
disown me tomorrow, like I think that would just make everyone more
I wish I
upset.
had parents.
Are you giving your
No,
mom?
I wish I had parents that would help me with my porn career and give me my dick pills when I need them, and clean up my cum afterwards. My mom comes in the room after I'm done and coming, and it's like, here, honey, I got it for you. Cleaning up my cum.
I'm not arguing that they should disown you. I mean, I understand like a mother's love for their child. I'm saying that it is unnatural for your mother to be counting the finances that you're earning from having 100 strangers violate you on the internet for cash, And that is the part that there's just no way to normalize that. There's no way to normalize that. I'm a parent. There's no way, like I have a daughter, and the idea of being involved in that, like, it's not saying that if she goes down that path, that you're not going to be there and pray and hope that she changes and speak to her about that and say I'm always going to love you. But I view it as predatory, parental behavior, and I don't think it's fair to even describe it as my parents are liberal. I mean, I'm obviously not a liberal, I'm a conservative, but none of my liberal friends, liberal family members, their parents would view this also as demonic, whether they have faith or not. They would just say, what parent would want that for their child? Because your mother is old enough to understand what
I
the
love when
implications.
women throw around, like Christian women throw around the word demonic. Bro, in the Bible, you guys are considered demonic. You're below men. Eve bit the fruit, and now you guys are just all fucked up. That's literally what the Bible's about, how women are too grounded or too connected to the material world, which is evil. And that men need to save them and protect them. And yeah. So
Are for your future, you already comprehend what the futures are, making it. I get that you turn everything into a joke. I think you do that really to protect yourself as an armor. I don't think you actually think it's funny, but to recognize that like you're a beautiful young girl, and you're never going to have the prospects. You're not going to have a man that wants to have a family with you because they're going to see you as damaged goods. Your mother partaking in that, just so you know, is a form of abuse. It is. It's abusive. And this kind of gets into the broader point, and I think the main takeaway of what's going on with Lily Phillips is that all across the world we are facing, I think, a crisis of parenthood. Parents that want to be friends with their children, parents that have given into, and I want to be clear, I don't like her confining this and saying, well, this is what liberalism is. Yes, liberals tend to be quite liberal.
The thing is, you should be friends with your parents. That's how you have a good relationship. I hang out with my dad. We have some similar interests, and we talk about our similar interests. I think it's a good thing. I don't see it as a negative. Sorry, I got a message. Sorry, I got this message. I'm just texting my fictional girlfriend. All right. back to the show.
Sex topic, but even them, I think a bridge too far is 1,000 men in one day. But this is a slippery slope, right? This is the slippery slope of the sex revolution, and it's why I'm very proud of my faith. I think the church got it right. I think things have become increasingly undone in this culture of sex education at school, teaching people that sex is healthy, having multiple partners is healthy. It is why I hate the modern feminist movement, because it leads women to this point of believing that they're going to be empowered the more partners that they have, when in reality what they're doing is they're decreasing their prospects in the future. And so I think Lily Phillips is an important cultural moment. I think it's good for liberals and conservatives to consider what it is that she's discussing, and to realize, I hope, that we have more in common, and to kind of go back and think through Candace for 3 months free of Hala.
Blah, blah, blah.
Vocal about his opinion, but what his opinion very clearly is that there needs to be more.
Is said Syria was a normal functioning country. I recently dredged out a report by...
where's the rest of the video?
All right, guys. Her wanting to be famous and her wanting to make money. There's no $50 million to go do anything else, to go be like, a runway model. You would take it and you would leave this entire career behind. This is about money and fame for you. That's it.
Here's
so
the thing.
You didn't wake up one day and say, hey.
See, I don't buy this whole narrative that she's only doing this because she's abused, and she's just a kinky fuck and likes to fuck men. That's all this is. I'm so tired of this, like, the left and the right does this, where they pretend that whores don't exist. She's just a kinky fuck that likes to fuck a lot of men. That's it. I'm so tired of this whole narrative that, the women like this are created. They don't just naturally feel like this. They're not naturally this. No, they like to fuck. It's the same thing with, like, they do this with gay men. How, they're not actually real. They're created. No, they're just dudes that like to suck dick. They like it. Right? I'm just so tired of this. Whores exist. Okay? They exist. I mean, you see this in nature. We all know a horny dog that goes around, just wants to hump everything. That just exists in nature. They exist. It's an animalistic thing. It's an animal thing. Right?
It
would be really amazing for me to be violated by like 1,000 guys. That's not a natural inclination that a woman has, but you have to commit to it, because like I was told by these OnlyFans models, you're selling an idea to guys that you're really into this. And it's like, this is what I want to do. It's assertive. I'm into this, because if you were crying on the internet, guys wouldn't be buying your packages. They would think that it was weird. So I get it. This is a part of your business proposition, but that money, you'll go through it quickly, and it's just not going to be worth it,
I just don't personally think, for me, money isn't a thing. Like,
can you address, though, what she said? If someone offered you $50 million to never do this, or to have never done this, would you have taken the 50, or would you still be like, no, it's something I want to do?
I've always said this. I did this as a hobby before I did it for work. So I was sleeping around and doing these stuff like that before I actually did OnlyFans. I was a lot more promiscuous off camera before I got a 9 to 5 to be able to
watch this part.
The industry. But they seem a bit more tethered to reality, in that I had a hard knock life. I'm doing this because I need to pay my bills. And I think what I resent about this conversation is like her pretending it's not about the money and fame, almost like it's just like it's about freedom. And this is like, that is so inauthentic. Like, this is not like, it's like feminist drivel when you, again, are still selling a product to men because you need to pretend that that's what it is for you. But yeah, it's about fame now. It's about getting to the next level.
It's not just that. I'm doing it for the love of the game. Like I said earlier, I did this before I was doing OnlyFans. I've done it off camera. It's not just all for money, this, that. Like,
So then why not just keep doing it off camera?
Well,
not for
really
It's
quick.
just for the
because I
freedom.
can also.
Let's just all agree on one thing.
Steiny is one of the luckiest rich men to ever live, because he is the biggest regard I have ever seen. He even looks like a regard. Lil Steiny. Same height as Joe Rogan, but more regarded looking, inside and out. I have not drank. I have not had a Happy Dad or a Prime in my life. Okay? I don't drink that fucking, I don't want to say the word, faggot shit.
Your boy may or may not have made love last night. Let's go real
Bro,
quick.
I'm not dabbing you. I'm not dabbing you.
I met a beautiful girl at the bar. I didn't do 100, but I did get one. So let's.
I just get one. Why is he acting like this? This dude's like 35 years old. Like this, he's acting like a fucking dude's talking like a sixth grader that talked about how he fucked a girl last night, which is completely unbelievable. That's the vibe he's giving off right now.
Wow, that's one in a while for you. Congrats.
No, not once in a while.
No, it sounds like one in a while. Congrats.
No, not one in a while. And it was very. I consider it
Yeah,
making.
see, Bradley does not care. He's not buying this. He doesn't think it's cool. Because Bradley's like a mature guy. He's kind of like a normal guy. He doesn't give a fuck about this. All right, I just fucked a girl last night. Why do you even have to say that? Why do you have to announce that? Who cares? Oh, you fucked a skank that you paid for that you could never get even if you're rich? Wow. Let's all celebrate. This dude's such like an ugly fucking troll that I just want to fucking putt. I want to putt him across a football field. I want to roll him up in a ball and fucking putt him. See if I can make a touchdown.
Making love. I just want to make that very clear. I'm not out here doing 100 girls, whatever. It's a passion thing for me.
Wow. That's
Anyways,
sweet.
back to the.
Well, you said for the love
Yeah, I see.
of the game.
Bradley's not. He's not fucking falling for it. He don't give a fuck, dude. He has this like little gay ass cat tattoo on his hand though, so I don't know how alpha he is.
Game. What's the game?
Yeah, what is the game?
As in this much.
Ooh.
Wow.
Candace, how do you feel about that?
I just don't.
Is there
I just
anything
think
to
it's
be
sad that
said?
this is what women have become. You know, it is. It's sad that like men seem to have better standards than women, and that seem to have switched very quickly. And it's partially due to like third wave, fourth wave feminism, and women have just completely.
I love these terms: third wave, fourth wave feminism. What is this? Like third wave, fourth wave ska? So we're describing political movements as like punk rock subgenres now. This is post-hardcore socialism right here. This is proto anarcho-fascist. This is Midwest. This is Midwest feminism. Is this what we're doing now? Describing political movements as punk rock subgenres?
Diminish their own value, and it's just sad. you know?
Lily, do you have any critiques on Candace? Maybe she's not living enough or something?
No, I would never tell anyone what they can do with their life. I'm always happy to agree to disagree. Obviously, Candace, you seem to also enjoy your life, and I enjoy mine, and that's totally cool. And we can live on this planet happily ever after.
We cannot live on this planet happily ever after.
I think maybe you guys should. I think you should get lunch, maybe, and hang out.
I'm coming to America in January and February.
She's in London.
She's where you're at. Candace, would you ever like get lunch or hang out with Lily?
I would talk to any person, you know. I think I do, in the same way that she's like, it's like a value time thing. It's this, if she was someone that was trying to change her life or something like that, it would be worth my time. But I try to, especially with
fucking
3 kids,
bitch,
just make sure that if I'm allocating my time somewhere else, it's going to be like useful either to the person or to me. And I just think that we just
I think that's what it's interesting about this convo between these two, because they are both very shallow people, but one of them hates the other person because of their degeneracy. But the morally upright, family orientated, traditional conservative woman is also shallow like her. And that's why she's mad. This is in psychology. A lot of times you hate somebody because you see a side of them that's similar to you, or something that's a side of you that you need to improve on, or such. And so that's what she sees. And she's kind of a psychopath. She says, I only am around people, where she views people as the same as viewing work and things, where it's all about time efficiency and things like that. That's a very sociopathic way of looking at people.
chosen different paths in life, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, any
But
last
this conversation is important because there's a lot of young women who are, I think, being misguided by a lot of things like this. And so this is worth the time to have the conversation publicly so that they can hear both perspectives and make a decision for themselves.
Any last words or advice that you'd give to Lily at this point? She's going to go for, like, listen, I can't hate on competitiveness. She wants to get the record. LeBron wants to get 5 rings. He's 39. He's not retiring. He's going for it. Lily, you're going to go for it. I respect the hustle. Candace, is there any last things you'd want to say to Lily or advise her on?
Like I say to all of the only fangirls, like, you know, I will pray for you. I genuinely hope that your mother does better. I think she's
trying so hard
you.
not to laugh.
And I genuinely hope that you find God, because I think that is the only chance that you have of turning your life around at this moment, is just like to genuinely know that you have a creator and that person loves you and you're a beautiful young girl and you just do not have to choose this lifestyle whatsoever for a couple of clicks on the internet.
Lily, any response?
Thank you.
Huh?
No, I mean, I hope you're doing well as well. Candace, I hope you have a lovely time in London. Enjoy the weather.
Candace, we're gonna so the ultimate response is that this is a parenting thing, right?
Yeah.
In your opinion. Okay. All right. Well, I think this has been very productive, right?
Yeah.
Have any last words?
No, I think that was great. Yeah.
Boring.
All right. Thank you both. Candace, thank you for joining. Lily, thank you for joining.
Thank you guys so much.
Nice to
right.
meet you guys.
All right. See ya.
Thank you,
Take
Candace.
care.
Thank you, Lily.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. That was
kind of crazy, no?
that was intense.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Lily doesn't give.
It appears that way, but also it kind of doesn't, you know? Like, I
I'm
don't
also
really
kind
know.
of surprised that Candace didn't press like that hard.
Well, she's not just like a complete dude. Like, she
I think she kind of has like empathy for these people. Like she thinks that they're actually like ahead.
well, yeah. I mean, I think she, like she said there at the end, like having the conversation in general, whether obviously she doesn't agree with what's going on. She's made it very clear. I think having the conversation though, for other women, just other people to listen to know like, hey, it's just debauchery. Like, I get it to a degree. Like, I understand why, like it's the allure and the money and, you know, having to be able to live a lifestyle that you want to live that's more free and work for yourself. I understand all those things. Like, obviously I've done it my own way and completely different than this. So I can understand how people get caught up in the idea of like, maybe this is a good idea. This is my way to get out. I just think your soul, man, like is like, how many people do you know that make all the money in the world and then get to a point in their life when they're like, yeah, money is great because you get to pay for these things. But at some point, you really do recognize no matter how much you make, it's not the thing that's going to make you feel like fulfilled and purposeful. It's not going to make you feel like, oh, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm what I always wanted to be.
Dude, I actually am so glad that you said that
Yeah, well,
because I've learned that recently.
yeah.
I've made more money than I've ever made, been like doing better than I've ever been.
Yeah.
And it's just great. Like, I'm going to be real now. And I usually don't do this, but I'm going to be real. Dude, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah. It
Like-
matters when you don't have it because your idea is that like your life's going to be different when you do have it.
So there is some truth in the point that, like, yeah, you live a little bit, there's less stress.
Yeah, you could order food.
You can order
get
food.
some
You don't have to worry
Postmates.
about a hotel, whatever, a flight. You can fly first class. But what I learned is when you have more money coming in, you're just spending more money. So it's literally the same situation.
Yeah, and then taxes. It's
Yeah, same
crazy,
thing.
bro.
So it just like I don't know. It's just stupid. But yeah.
Well, it's the idea that, I mean, we've created in this society of like, you know, America capitalist shit where it's like more, be better, like, and that's the trap that everyone's kind of caught up in, like trying to achieve this level of like freedom, right?
Yeah.
And obviously it relates to money because money, like we were talking about, creates time, creates freedom. But everyone gets to that point. Everyone that I've ever spoken to that has more money than like they've ever had, or they got closer to where they wanted to be, they're always like, yeah, but they know, like maybe the first 6 months of having money, they're like, wow, I could buy a car, I got a house, whatever. And then at some point you're like, okay, this is cool because I can pay.
Shut the fuck up. We're done with that. Let's talk about Nosferatu. All right, I saw Nosferatu a couple days ago. Best movie of the year, and I've barely seen any movies this year. I thought it was really good. Great performances in it. Lily Rose Depp, who I always thought was a like nepo baby. You know, these nepo babies where you're just like, oh, that, you know, this person's they're kind of boring. They're just you know, riding on the coattails of their parent, blah 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 blah. But she stole the show. I think a lot of people agree with me. I think it was the best performance of the year. I actually I don't think she was just great. I actually thought she was amazing. And this sounds very weird, but this is the first time ever I found Lily Rose Depp to be hot. Yep. The first time ever. And just the way she was dressed and looked in the movie, the sex scenes, but the best thing in the movie was the moaning. Yes, her moaning sounds. Now I've heard many girls moan in my lifetime, but it's whatever. But in this movie, I don't know how she did it. It was the best moaning I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, I felt like Pee Wee Herman in that movie theater. So yes, highly recommend Nosferatu. I don't like it as much as the other two versions, but I did like it quite a bit. Nosferatu 1922 is the first like cinephile type movie I was really into, and I was obsessed with that movie as a kid. I remember I took my parents' DVD copy as a kid, and I used to do this a lot. I record my own VHS copy of it, and then I would watch it over and over again. And and I was obsessed with Dracula. Dude, like I read the Bram Stoker book like 3 times when I was a kid. I was really into Dracula shit and vampires. Dude, I was really into that shit. But Nosferatu is very good. I almost need somebody to talk about with it. I read that someone I was talking to a friend, and he was saying how, oh, it's why is Count Orlok Turkish in this, even though he's clearly modeled after Vlad the Impaler. But yeah, he's my least favorite Count Orlok in terms of like the way he's modeled and stuff. But I don't know. At least he was different looking. He was very gross looking, and yeah, it's a very sexual movie, which it needed to be. A lot of the adaptation, a lot of the Dracula adaptations and stuff aren't that sexual, even though that's a huge part of the Dracula story. But you know, yeah, what was I gonna say about Dracula? It had a lot of very, you know what the movie reminded me of though? I mean, it is a very much a Robert Eggers movie. There's a lot of similarities with, you know, his past movies like The Witch, The Lighthouse, things like that. But it reminded me a lot, and I watched the interview, and he said that was one of the influences. It reminded me a lot of the Coppola Dracula, a lot. And that is what I thought was interesting about the movie. And I'm a huge fan, even when I was a kid, I'm a huge fan of the Coppola Dracula film. It's actually one of my favorite Coppola movies. Yeah. I mean, I like Godfather. I like fucking Apocalypse Now. I even like I didn't see Megalopolis, his best movie, I've heard. You know, I like The Conversation, but I'm gonna be honest, Dracula is my favorite Coppola movie. Yep, you heard it here I can't fucking talk because I drink so much caffeine that I feel like I'm on Adderall right now. Coppola's Dracula is my favorite Coppola movie, and probably my favorite Dracula movie. You heard it here first. So, yeah, I highly recommend Nosferatu. Let's see. What other topics can we get into? Let's get into the, this one was very funny. The punk rock NBA, everyone's favorite punk rock YouTuber, is a liar. Oh my god, I wouldn't have guessed. He's a liar. What? Yeah, a lot of people made videos about this, and they're all like, he lied about everything. Fantano was shocked. And dude, when I was 18 years old when this guy started, I could tell this guy was a fraud. All right? And so, yeah, dude. Like, this guy is such a fucking fraud. Let's see. Let's watch. We could just watch the let's see, is this the full interview?
Why did Finn, fortunate or unfortunate, it's up to you, but it's just a truth of the world.
Yeah, let's just watch the short version. We don't need to watch. So we watch the Fantano. Now let's watch this version. Let's watch the Fantano version. Yeah.
That invested in the first place. But in this interview with Jesse Lee, that's essentially what Finn admits to doing. And again, you may be wondering, like, if Finn has no interest in music at all, why was he doing this all of this time? Well, I mean, short answer, the money. I mean, that's literally what he says in the interview.
All right.
Everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Let's talk about a bit of a tectonic shift that just happened.
If you don't know who Punk Rock MBA is, he's this guy that made a lot of videos for many years about, all his videos are about like roughly like punk rock music. Even he would talk about pop punk stuff, ska, whatever. And all his videos are just like Wikipedia type shit. You know, he just read off Wikipedia. It was obvious. And he admits to doing that. But all these fucking music bro guys like Fantano, they're all shocked that this guy lied the whole time. I mean, you'd have to be a fucking child to not realize that this guy's a liar.
Music, YouTube. A fellow content creator on this.
I can't believe this guy still makes videos. He's so like ugly. Cool albums in the background, bro. Elvis Presley. Wow. Do you actually listen to Elvis? Does anybody actually listen to fucking Elvis? Give me a break. How old are you, dude? And Portrait's Head. Oh wow. So cool, so Pitchfork. And that's nobody listens to this album. This like MS Paint Sun, that MS Paint Sun album. Nobody actually listens to that album. I'm tired of seeing that album cover. Nobody actually listens to that fucking album. You don't listen to these albums, dude. You're a liar. Why? Because you saw it on Pitchfork's top albums of 1995 list. Fucking loser, dude. Gay nerd. Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest gay nerd. Back again with another gay video.
This platform, who for a long time, really for a period of years, has operated in the music space, has recently called it quits. No more YouTube or music or even Twitch content. Totally done. Kaput. Talking about Mr. Finn McKenty, aka the punk rock MBA. Finn is somebody whose content I have consumed for a minute. He is somebody who I have done some crossover content with. I have literally met this man in person. And for a while, I sort of watched his channel from afar, and regardless of whether or not he covered artists that I like, regardless of whether or not he expressed musical or even political opinions that I personally agreed with, he was somebody who was very persistent and consistent with his content release schedule, with what I saw to be his content quality. Disagreements aside, he was somebody who, I don't know, I didn't really have a whole lot of smoke for, because he just seemed like somebody who worked really hard at what he did and knew what he was doing when it came to just making music content. I mean, for anybody who is uninitiated, the brand proposition for a Finn McKenty, for a punk rock MBA, was essentially that he was, as a content creator, marrying his passion for music and his background as somebody who was involved and engrossed in the underground West Coast music scene decades ago. You take that and combine it with his background as somebody who successfully has worked for years in marketing, and you get an analysis that sort of tries to understand and contextualize why certain artists and music movements, be they underground or mainstream, took off or got popular, where they went after sort of like the wave crested. I mean, Finn did have a history of making pretty thorough and Jesse Lee.
Is that why you started making videos, just because of all the negativity?
No, it's because like I don't really have any interest in music, so I was just doing it for the money, and I hit my financial goals. And so there's really just no reason for me. Like, I don't have to keep doing it. I'm not, our time on this earth is limited. Like, don't spend it doing shit you don't have to do if you don't want to, It's like, I made enough money from this. I don't have to keep making videos about System of a Down. So I'm going to stop.
Man, so you really didn't enjoy it at all? There's just like no part of you that was like, oh, I'm excited to talk about this band today or anything like that. It was always just completely transactional.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in music at all.
You don't miss it then. That's what you're getting at.
No.
Yeah.
It's the money is nice, but I made enough from it that I'm good.
Yes, at least a few times in this interview.
That is the wildest, dude. That is the wildest Sigma grind set ever. Just make money, create a punk rock YouTube channel to make money, and lie to these punk rock guys. But all the punk rock guys knew he was a poser. Because if you don't have a punk band at 45 years old in your garage in a small Californian town that nobody knows about, and if you don't record anything or promote yourself or have no audience, then you're a real punk rocker. All right. Now, if you do record music on Spotify, you promote yourself, you're a poser. That's just how it goes in the punk rock world. So
posted to YouTube. He confirms a general and total lack of interest in music. Even confirms that he has never actively sought out listening to bands like System of a Down.
You like just seem like such a wealth of knowledge. Like you knew so much about the topics you were talking about that I was like, dude, I can't make content. Like I don't know, like the encyclopedia history of all these bands, but like you
neither
just
do
came,
I.
like,
It's just like literally look it up on Wikipedia. I don't know. Like I've never listened to System of a Down in my life.
I mean, he puts it a bit more bluntly than that. I want to give the guy some credit because I'm presuming at some point across his lifetime, he has to have heard like Chop Suey in passing, no? But yeah, despite the fact that this man has made content about System of a Down, he claims to have never really listened to them, which I guess you have
because
to
they fucking suck. Dude, when I turned 15 years old, I stopped listening to System of a Down. If you're above the age of 14 and still listening to System of a Down, then you're just a child mentally. Like, oh, they're such a deep band because it's like metal, but he talks really fast and he talks about how bad George Bush and the Iraq War is. So deep. Yeah, that's deep when you're fucking 11 years old. If you're above 11 years old, you should stop thinking System of a Down is a deep band. If you're an adult and think they're a deep band, you're mentally a child. You're a child.
Is the case for maybe a lot of the artists that he talked about on his channel on a regular basis. But when you analyze, I guess, like the genetic makeup of Finn's content for the most part, I guess like it's not that hard to believe because a lot of his videos would have more to do with kind of like the historical background and context of a certain band, how they started, where they started, what their influences were, like what basically the musical and, again, contextual DNA of a certain group or genre was within the era that it existed. Which, yeah, I guess you don't necessarily have to be a big music aficionado in order to research these facts and bits of information and then compile them into a video.
Well, yeah, and that's what you said. I heard you say that one time in an interview. You're like, yeah, I just basically read her Wikipedia page and I'll show up some pictures and some, context. And
yeah, I mean, technically I could, without ever having heard a Velvet Underground song, for example, probably use the internet to find a bunch of information.
Fantano, you've never actually listened to Velvet Underground. You're no different than the punk rock NBA. Your channel is a lie as well. There's no way that you're a fan of all these artists that you say you are. There's no way that you've listened to all these artists that you claim that you've heard. All right? Like, we know for a fact that you've never, before reviewing that last album they did a few years ago, we all know that you've never listened to Sweet Trip before, because Sweet Trip's a band that is now in the top Rate Your Music albums list, but that nobody listened to a decade ago. But you're like, oh, I like Sweet Trip. I'm a fan of Sweet Trip. It's all a lie. Your channel is a lie. And your tastes are a lie. Because it's all algorithmic. Everything's algorithmic. Every Fantano review is predictable. And he throws in like a weird bone. Like he'll give like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a 6 out of 10 because he's trying to cover up the fact that his whole channel is a lie. All right.
And about the Velvet Underground and who's in the band and what songs they wrote.
That's
and
literally your channel, dude.
The biggest and what they inspired and what other artists kind of borrowed from them and what artists they borrowed from and so on and so forth, and incorporate some stuff about Andy Warhol in there somewhere. Yeah, especially with my journalism degree, I probably could.
This guy has a fucking... Can you fucking believe this? Listen up, everybody. Anthony Fantano has a journalist degree. Can you fucking believe that? This fucking goofball has a fucking journalist degree. Wow, so much great. What the fuck is even journalism? That's not even like a real degree. That's like gender studies. This fucking nerd has a journalist degree. Can you fucking believe it? Wow. Yeah, such great journalism in his videos. His disgusting fucking teeth.
Together such a video about a band such as VU without having heard their music. However, would I do that? Especially as a YouTuber, like just starting out and trying to build a channel? No, probably not. Not only because that would be a little disingenuous, but on top of that, the process of making that video would be pretty grueling, and it would be odd to me personally to sink all of that effort into something that I wasn't even really all that invested in the first place. But in this interview with Jesse Lee, that's essentially what Finn admits to doing. And again, you may be wondering, like, if Finn has no interest in music at all, why was he doing this all of this time? Well, I mean, short answer, the money. I mean, that's literally what he says in the interview. And he is now quitting now that he has reached his financial goals. So I guess he has made enough money. Now, instead of doing YouTube, he just wants to focus on LinkedIn and, maybe start some kind of thing where he is doing consulting for other people who are looking to make content and build brands and social media pages and so on and so forth, which I think he may see a very successful career in, given just how he was able to so cynically operate in the music field for so long. Conversation. He really...
People just want some negativity to fucking blurt out their dumb fucking opinions about.
Which, granted, in my own experience as a music commentator and reviewer, sure, if you go throughout the comments of any one of my videos, especially, the ones where the reviews are not very positive, you're going to catch a lot of negativity. You're going to catch a lot of hateful pushback on the stuff that I say and the opinions that I give. It doesn't feel good to get those kinds of comments and engagements on a regular basis. But if you are coming at this from a place of love and passion for music, what usually ends up taking the edge off of that inconvenience is the fact that you get to continue engaging with this art form that you love so dearly. And in the moments when you're not doing a negative review or sort of maybe a critical assessment of something that people might not receive well, you also get the opportunity to heap praise on artists and projects and records that actually are fantastic and worth people's time and are worth praising and being excited about. And I could sort of see from Finn's perspective, if that is not something that drives you and that is not something that you're interested in.
Ties that is to fucking go get people to show up to a venue. Like, that's just, you suck. Musicians are a lost cause. Like, they can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. I know lots of people on LinkedIn with less than 10,000 followers that are making way more money than anybody in any band. I mean, look, at the end of the day, while I have met Finn in person, he is somebody who I wouldn't say I know super duper personally and intimately. So I don't want to come on here and just like straight up.
You guys should fucking make out and suck each other's dicks while listening to Dookie by Green Day. The only punk album both of you guys have actually listened to. That and American Idiot. Those aren't even punk albums. That's the joke.
Say, Finn McKenty, he's a terrible, bad, awful guy. But the fact of the matter is, whether or not he intends for this to be...
What an... dude, I paused this so many times. Look how, look how grotesque this guy is. Like, here... Let's pause every 5 seconds.
The case in this interview, he really comes off like a freaking jerk. A guy who clearly got into the music content.
Dude, this guy's optics. I like how this dude is like on Instagram talking about vibe check. Look at my vibe. I have so much drip. dude. You just need to fix your entire like aesthetic. I don't even know what this is. Childish Gambino, Williamsburg hipster. I don't fucking know what this is. I'm the master of this is real optics. Look at my shirt. Look at this filter. Look at everything is just on point, dude. I'm literally on point. Right?
Game for the wrong reasons, and rather than internalizing and reassessing his own bad decision making and just think like, what the hell is the point? Why did I do this? This was dumb of me. Yeah, instead of being self-critical, he is taking his own terrible decision-making out on music fans and musicians alike, just being really nasty and dismissive and frankly, disrespectful. You're the guy who made a fucking music channel at the end of the day. Nobody made you do that. Like, that was your choice. Yeah, there are people on my YouTube channels who in the comments are just like, Anthony, when are you going to start like a movie channel or like review some video games or da. While I enjoy those styles of media and art, my passion and my focus for those things only runs so deep. I mean, yeah, movies are great, but would I want to run a channel where just like my entire life is movies and all I'm thinking about and talking about and consuming every fucking day is movies? No. And that's why I don't do a movie channel. The amount of movies I consume and the amount of engagement that I give to the world of movies for me right now is at a happy medium. I'm fine with it. It's music that I want more of, and that's why I do the music thing. Let this video be a warning and a reminder to anybody else who is potentially considering entering this space, doing some content, doing some whatever. If you are to engage with the music world in the way that I do, or in the way that even Finn did, please do it from a place of passion. The amount of legitimate and steady and stable careers in the world of music, they're few and far between as is. And if you are actually going to take up a spot, take up a space that somebody else could potentially be in, if you're going to be there doing something, filling a role, filling a void that someone else could, if you are going to achieve such a position, regardless of what that...
You can shut up now. All right. Let's move on to, let's see, what do we got? Oh, I can tell a story. So, story time. Story time, story time. Should fix my hair. There we go. Story time. I ran into. I look so, dude. This is like, dude, like this image of me goes so hard. I just look so fucking hard right now. Story time. I ran into an old friend, old producer of my YouTube channel, an old collaborator and co-host. I ran into him in person. Now, I have not talked to this man in a year, and the other day I ran into him. So I'll tell the story. So I'm going to tell some of it without doxing like the location and other details. So I was at a store. It's like a local like supermarket. It's not like a chain or anything like that. It's some local generic supermarket. And I was outside the supermarket, and this man pulls up with some other people in a car, and I see the car pull up, and I recognize the car, and the windshield is a bit, it's a bit dark, and I looked and I was like, no fucking way, that's him. And I saw him open the door. I was outside the supermarket. He opened the door, but then he closed the door. And I was I was like, no way. He doesn't want to come out of his car because he sees me. And so yeah. So so I saw him talking. He was in the car for a long time. I was still standing out there. I went on my phone and stuff, waiting for him. Then I decided to go inside, use the restroom. And after I was done using the restroom, I walked out, and there he was, shopping in a vegetable department, looking for vegetables. And I was like 10 feet away from him or something, and there's an aisle in the middle, and he was all, huh. He was just very terrified that I was there. And then I finally walked out, and I was standing outside, and he walked out too. And he walked out, and he got back in the car. Before he got back in the car, when he walked by me, he went and walked by and walked to the car. And yeah, I just thought it was a very interesting and weird interaction. And he didn't have to make it awkward at all, but he did. And I just want to let him know that I don't hate him. I just decided to stop talking to him because I felt that we were on different terms. We're just in different places in life, and I needed to move on. And every time I talked to him, it felt like I was talking to a brick wall because we had nothing in common, and he didn't seem to give a shit about continuing a friendship. And I decided just to move on. And yeah. And so yeah, that's it. But yeah, he didn't have to make it awkward or anything like that, but he did. And so yeah, it was just very, very weird. Let's see, what else do we got? I might use the restroom. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Some of these topics are a bit dated. Let's do... Nah, we don't need to talk about the Nick Fuentes thing. It's been talked about to death. Let's see. Yeah, we could talk about the F train. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't heard about the F train, which I believe I rode on in New York, a lady was set on fire for riding on the F train. And here's the image of the man who did it. I'll pull it up real quick. Look, I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Here's the man that did it. Just a savage, dude. Like, oh wait, you can't see it because my face is blocking it. There we go. This man is a fucking savage. Alright. And he lit this lady on fire. And, yeah. But yeah, so what I think is interesting about this is that people were just standing around watching it in the video. And there's this black guy's like just yelling shit out and like laughing about it. And yeah, this is just, let's just be real, this is just this is the reality of you know, these situations. People nowadays, especially blacks and Latinos, they just stand around and watch you die and laugh at you or just stare at you blankly. This is what they do. A while back in the summertime, I had an incident where there was a guy running around the neighborhood with a gun chasing a few people that he knew. No joke. And I called the police, and a lot of these Mexicans outside their house witnessed it, and they didn't do anything. They didn't react to it. They just kind of stared blankly, like, you know, this is just normal, you know. And I just think this is the true downfall of society. If we don't react to these dangers that quickly, then we're just gonna have more of these things happen. And I just think it's ridiculous, dude. Rest in peace to that woman. I just don't watch that video. It's super disturbing. All right. Since I pull up Twitter, it might be on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube. Is it? Yes. Let's watch this Santa baby video. This is Kim Kardashian's in this Andy Warhol type art film that Kanye should have did, and it's the gayest. Travis Barker did the soundtrack. Punk rock legend Travis Barker, the only real punk rocker that exists, did the music, and let's watch it. Also, it's get off! Hey! Fuck! it's a. Wow, this is the gayest fucking thing we've ever seen. Because I didn't know what would happen. I feel like I just watched something that belongs to either the streets or the dark web. This generally feels like one of those tapes. I feel like I overdosed. This isn't even that interesting to be a dark web video. Anyways, glad nobody watched that. I guess two more things. Can do the. Let's do the Whitney Cummings with Maton Evans video.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the podcast. For today's guest, we have 10 Mile, welcome in. We also have Whitney Cummings, welcome in. How you doing?
Oh.
What you mean? Welcome in.
Where do you want me here?
What you mean? Yeah, you sit right there. And then we have the co-host.
I thought this is my episode.
Huh? Welcome in the co-host.
I thought this is my episode.
So
yeah,
Whitney
you and her.
This was a solo.
You know, she's a comedian, but she thinks these guys like this are so weird. They're so out there. You know.
Episode. I came all the way down here from fucking Vegas.
Yeah,
man.
you and her.
Listen, man, you owe me fucking money for this shit, man. I came all the way down here from Vegas, man.
I don't know what
you want me to go get my fucking blast? All right. I got something for both of you. You too.
Wait, I'm
You
sorry.
too, ho. I'm gonna go get my fucking blaster. I got some for all you foes, man.
For all us what? I would like to apologize. That man seems unhinged, and I do not want to be responsible for the...
Are you a member of the Nation of Islam?
I'm not. I don't think...
Now you can sit in the middle if you want, now that he's out of here. I just had to lock the door in case he gets his blaster. Go ahead, finish the question, please.
You mean the answer?
Yeah. About the Nation of Islam.
I'm not. Do you Google your guests at all before or no?
A little bit. I do some research.
Okay, yeah. I think that would have been in there.
It didn't mention it. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not. Do you know that person?
No, I don't. He was
I love these comedians. They don't know how to do comedy. They don't know how to banter back. They don't know how to deal with hecklers and awkward situations. They just go, "Is this for real right now, guys? Is this real?"
He's coming back. He was the second guest for the episode.
So I'm not sure where you're from. I think whatever this... Who's that?
He's the co-host for today.
I'll copy that.
His name is Mike.
Hi, Mike. Maybe this is why your numbers are higher than mine. You just...
Go ahead.
Yeah, Whitney Cummings is, her fucking name gets me every time. Her numbers are astronomically low. Nobody's watching her videos. And she's supposedly the top comic ever.
No, I'm learning a lot about what's hip.
Okay, so you want me to continue?
It's your show, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slow you down. That guy seems like deeply unhinged.
Who, the guy who just left?
Yeah.
No, he was supposed to be the second guest for the episode, but hopefully he'll come back. I'll shoot with him once you leave. I tried setting it up with you beforehand, but I didn't know he was gonna just get really angry like that.
Did that shake you up at all?
No, we've tried shooting with him a couple of times. We usually schedule with him and Longneck at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But they usually don't get here. He got here now, but we'll fly him out from Vegas next time to make it a little
it's just
bit easier.
my boyfriend is outside. He's not gonna be wild, right?
Oh, he's probably just sitting with him. They're probably using that TV that we have outside to watch the episode.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
They'll probably watch the rest of it together now.
Okay.
Maybe they'll become friends?
It's possible.
Do you think they will or no?
I don't know. He seemed a little young and methy. He had big like Adderall energy.
No, he wasn't on any drugs like that. Who do you think number one was?
Of the worst comedians?
Yeah, of 2024. 'Cause you were number one. I think you were number 7.
Okay. So there were 6 worse comedians than me?
Of 2024, I think.
Can I ask about other ones that were in there?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who were in it.
And who decided this?
Oh, it was a panel.
Okay.
A couple of people decided it. Just some people. I'm trying to think. I think.
Is your last name Evans?
No, Evan. Just Evan.
Okay. But that's your website.
No, it's not. It's fan run. It's run by fans.
Oh, got it.
Fans of the podcast.
Okay, sure. But your fans, so they're not necessarily comedy fans.
Well, I'm a fan of my podcast.
But they're not comedy fans if it's your podcast.
Well, I guess they're business fans.
I think I might just end the stream. This is not. I thought this was gonna be like funny, but yeah, I'm just gonna end this now. Good night.